Look at the picture. See the skull. Visible Frankenstein controls. The Brain Thoughts broadcasting radio. The Frankenstein earphone radio. The latest new skull reforming to contain all Frankenstein controls.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Frankenstein Control. Before a year's worth of news happened in less than a week, as it has with overwhelming precedence all year, I was going to lead things off tonight with some jokes about how Denmark now has an animated show about a man with a freakishly long prehensile penis. That's real, by the way. You can look that up.
Cool.
It's for kids. The show is for kids, not his penis.
Oh, God.
Do they... Yeah, we'll talk about this later. Do your intro.
Yeah.
This is a very long derailing we could potentially get into.
Yeah.
It's a children's program. The only screenshots I've seen make it look like it's filmed using a Sims 4 mod. It has that sort of top-down view, or at least the scenes I saw in the pictures did. It looks like the guy's always wearing one of those old-timey striped onesie bathing suits, like the bathers you would wear in Victorian times. And like his wang is this long like noodle that's also striped like the bathing suit that comes out the bottom of him, at least in the picture I saw. This is a horror show I'm describing, and Ada looks appropriately disgusted.
Yes.
While I neglected to look up the name of the show, I can only assume it's something like Mr. Hansen's Magic Jansen or something like that. So, thank you, Denmark, for that wonderful paint-huffing glimpse into something else that's ridiculous other than the everyday ridiculousness with which we are forced to live.
Yeah.
The prehensile penis that shoves itself in our eyes every day we look at our news feed.
Yes.
That would be preferable at this point.
Yeah.
It really would. Of course, we will address the defrosted mammoth in the room. That is the political fallout of the last 6 days. But before we do, I want to thank our sponsors for supporting this week's episode.
Hooray!
It's not Cologuard.
Oh. Well, that's actually a disappointment, really.
It is. Well,
They pay a lot.
They do. They really do. I mean,
Keep the lights on in this joint.
I was only able to buy my house because some of the leftover money from Cologuard, man. That's the house that shit built.
You got that poo-poo money.
As opposed to Lucky's pee-pee money.
It's Unlucky's poo-poo money.
Well, by extraordinarily serendipitous circumstances, Frankenstein Control is brought to you tonight by a new home security startup called Capital.
Oh, no.
Now, many home security systems have you paying through the nose for alarm installations and system maintenance, not to mention monthly membership fees for their monitoring helplines, which call for backup if there's a credible threat.
Uh-huh.
Not so with Capital.
You don't say.
Capital Security lets you pay a one-time fee for a sign that stands in your yard and does nothing, utilizing the universal deterrent of common sense to ineffectually discourage rampaging hordes of invaders armed with zip ties like the goddamn BTK from utterly ignoring your cursory defenses to overrun your family with no immediate consequences. Capital Security. We're exclusively here for the peace of mind. Note, please disregard reports of Capital Security systems unlocking doors for thieves or of criminals taking cheerful selfies with Capital Security signs. This is a time for unity.
Oh, God.
Now, of course, we have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Do we?
My bad joke, my poor attempt at humor, which I will reread at a later date and be like, oh, come on, you could have done better than that. I think of the pressure I'm under in this acute time period, because less than a week as of the recording of this episode, the Capitol got stormed.
Yeah.
By idiots.
Yeah.
And 5 people died.
One of them by tasing his own nutsack.
I never saw concrete confirmation that he tased himself in the nutsack. I just saw that he tased himself.
I'm just going to keep saying it because it's funny.
You know what?
Hey, man, if all those assholes are allowed to create their own reality, so am I.
You know what? You're damn right.
Damn right.
You're damn right.
Yeah.
Tased himself in the nutsack. You heard it here, folks.
Taylor was there. He saw it.
No, wait. No, don't say I was there.
Oh, yeah.
God damn it.
He wasn't there. Don't worry.
Taylor laughing and pointing, holding Pelosi's lectern.
I didn't know that.
Look at that buffoon.
I just
What a maroon.
I did know such thing.
Tased himself in the nutsack.
You guys are cyberbullying me.
He's taking selfies with John Mouse and Ariel Pink.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
John Mouse.
very, very sad to realize
John
that
Mouse and Ariel Pink revealed themselves to not only have terrible music, but terrible everything else.
Wait, what happened?
John Mouse and Ariel Pink were at the Capitol.
What?
Yeah, they're Trumpletites.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I can't accept that reality. What?
They're Trumpians,
That's how I
homeboy.
They were both there, and why? Were they performing for the?
No, because they're shitty and they felt like those people were right or something. I haven't read direct statements from them because I really don't care all that much. But like,
I need that. No, I have to do my own independent. You can't just wipe out half my music catalog by telling me that, Ada.
I'm sorry.
I don't appreciate that.
I'm sorry. Well, you can just imagine that Ariel Pink was there doing the yo-yo on a stick deal,
Yeah.
just saying Jello to himself over and over, and it was just a psychotic episode.
More like
he didn't know he
Ariel's
was there.
stinking con mouse.
I cannot believe. I refuse to believe that either of those people believe in Trump. I just can't see.
We just set up B-Rye for a nice, wholesome evening of doom scrolling.
This is that's legitimately life ruining
Sorry.
for me. No,
Surprise.
I'm gonna
I
have to.
thought I needed to bring it up considering just a few episodes ago we were all like, "Oh, that John Mouse."
Oh, I love that John Mouse.
What a scamp.
Well, I mean, let's be real. John Mouse is barely mentally competent. He was dragged there, if anything. He was checked out of the home and brought there. He thought he was going to Walmart. He was that was a bad time for him. Ariel Pink is he personally is a massive troll. Mm-hmm. Like, he delights in pissing people off, like, by saying things he doesn't really mean. He views Ariel, his real name's Ariel Rosenberg, and he views the Ariel Pink persona as somewhat of a provocateur. So he has been known to say he's always like said things that revealed his inner thoughts. I think in interviews that made me excuse him for various other things he said before. But I get the sense that I could almost believe where I'm going with this as I ramble incoherently. Mm-hmm. I could almost believe that he would be there just to be sort of like a living Family Guy joke and just piss people off. But I don't know. I don't know. They're gonna have to explain themselves. I cannot believe.
Hey, man.
I cannot believe that either of those people.
You know what? In this situation, I would say don't trust what we're saying. Do the research yourself at home and create your own wild reality that you can kill cops over, I guess.
I mean, fuck it, they do, as you said yourself. Mm-hmm. What even is truth anymore, other than
there is no truth. There is only zany hijinks. There's only fucking cartoon wackiness in this goddamn hell reality. This is absolutely the doomed timeline.
Was Ariel Pink providing musical accompaniment and dubbing all of the horrible goings on with Hanna-Barbera sound effects? 'Cause
yes,
I could imagine him doing that.
I don't know. You'll have to look it up.
No, I'm going to look that up right goddamn now.
You don't have any time. Taylor, who are we?
We are the Antifa actors who portrayed themselves as activists at the place. I'm the wild bull man, Taylor Russell. To my right is Ada Ship.
I'm that woman that went there and they got stuck on a no-fly list immediately. Couldn't go home and had a big tantrum about it. Oh no, I'm facing consequences for my shitty actions.
And in front of me, as always, is B-Rye.
I'm B-Rye, and I had to go home and change because one of the other Dale Gribbles had the exact same tactical vest I was wearing.
One of us is gonna go home and change. Yes, welcome to Frankenstein Control. We're broadcasting live to you from the ruins of our country. How are you doing today? I'm doing just fine. I got plenty of pork and beans and grain alcohol to last me through this situation. I hope you folks figured it out.
I've been managing with the aid of CBD gummies. We'll call them that.
Delicious CBD gummies.
Better than CBT gummies.
Yes.
And way better than CBD gummies.
And the worst until you dropped that bombshell on me about John Mouse and Ariel Pink, the worst psychic damage I had inflicted to me in this week, which I've suffered quite a bit of it in a short period of time with the Capitol storming and all that shit. Now the John Mouse thing, and then of course I chose to watch the Mad Pierrot episode of Bebop while under the influence of not CBD gummies.
What?
That was a horrifying time.
Why would you watch that episode at all?
Because it was next in the queue, and we watched it.
I hate that episode. Anytime I try to watch Cowboy Bebop, I get to that and I just give up.
That's a nightmare.
I've never seen the second half of that series because of that episode.
Wait, really? Are you making funny?
No, I'm serious.
Oh my god!
I always lose interest after seeing that episode.
The rest of the show is great.
I know it's great, but the episode is just you know what? I'm out.
I actually looked up and read an article because I wanted to see what other people's hot takes on the Mad Puro episode, were. Mm-hmm. And I read a really good article by somebody who basically said that episode has, for real, because it's so starkly different from any other episode of the show, that it feels like an episode that you weren't supposed to see. It really is a real life example of the cursed episode.
It's like a lost episode.
Like a lost episode thing.
The Mad Purell episode of SpongeBob.
Mad Purell?
Yeah, that's an episode about the pandemic. He's Mad Purell. He stole all the toilet paper and now he's inflating himself like a blueberry. That episode, it's very much the Squidward suicide of Cowboy Bebop, except it's real.
Is there photorealistic blood?
There's photorealistic Purell.
Watching it on watching the show uncensored on Hulu, I never realized how much.
How many tits were in that episode? It's ridiculous.
There's a lot of tits. There's some tits in the series as a whole, but there is an awful lot of blood that Toonami edited out. That's for sure.
Toonami edited out blood?
Adult Swim.
Well, yeah, Toonami runs on Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Still, they edited that? No way. What?
Yeah, there's a shit ton of blood.
Why would they? It's a television block for adults. Why would they edit out blood?
I don't know.
Same reason you can't say erection.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Did you guys watch the part 4 of JoJo's dub?
No.
With Josuke and Kira?
I didn't see much of it. I watched the odd episode, but
okay. First of all, if you've watched the original Japanese of part 4 or part 3, go watch the dub because it's better.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna revoke my weeb status.
Strong fucking words.
And loudly proclaim that the dubs of part 3 and 4 are far superior to the original subs. That being said, the Adult Swim and just American broadcast of those shows have different censorship sensibilities. A lot of the original Japanese broadcast had a lot of the violence censored. So there's just awkward black blobs over some of the stuff.
Yeah, and then also heavy shadowing on Jotaro when he smokes a cigarette.
Yeah, because he's a minor, so you can't show him smoking. So they just make the lower half of his face black.
Do you think
that helps?
In Japan, if they fucking show Pinocchio, the part where they're at Pleasure Island and they're smoking the cigars, the donkey kid's just blacked out in shadow in the background, and you're left to guess what the fuck's going on.
Well, the whole point of that scene is that it's instructional. He looks sick after he smokes, and then the bad things happen to him because of it. Yeah. And it turns into a fucking goddamn nightmare.
Meanwhile, Jotaro uses a cigarette in order to reveal a fish man.
And also to hype out psych out a gambling man.
That's true. That's okay. Yeah, he does 2 cigarettes times.
Couldn't he have just pointed to the fish man?
Well, he was a hidden fish man until he wasn't.
And how did the cigarette reveal him?
I forget it.
A ruse. We won't go into the whole complicated
JoJo's
bullshit.
is made of nothing but ass pulls and ruses. That's what makes it great. If I spoil it for you,
but I bring this up because in part 4, spoiler alert for the last episode.
Oh my god!
Seriously, spoiler alert. The villain thinks he's won. He's lost, but he thinks he's won, so he's gloating. And he's a serial killer that has a thing for women's hands. Mm-hmm. So he kills women and just keeps their disembodied hands around and talks with it and has dinner with it and presumably does other things with it. But he's talking about...
he's fucked up in the head.
Yeah, he's fucked up. So
There was some guy who did that with feet. I can't remember his name. I almost had his name.
Hidetaka Miyazaki.
The Dark Souls guy.
Yeah.
but he's gloating because he thinks he's won, and he starts telling the story about how when he was a kid, he saw the Mona Lisa, and he looked at her hands, and he's like, I saw her hands, and, well, it gave me an erection. And in the American release, they censor the word erection.
Why?
I don't know. The only reason I can think of as why they would censor it is because he's talking about it in the context of him being a kid and getting an erection.
I guess, but
So, but like, still, they don't show anything. He just says, I got a boner.
Jerry Brugel, that one of those was the guy who kept feet.
Jerry Jewell.
No, I hope not.
Here in my car, I can look at the feet.
Wait. That's the fucking Stereo Man.
That's the wrong Gary.
Fuck, what's his name? Thomas Dolby.
What? Thomas Dolby?
Yeah, he's the guy who wrote Here in My Car.
I thought it was like Gary something.
Oh, Gary Newman, you're right.
Yeah,
It's Gary Newman,
see?
sorry.
I know the 80s better than you do.
Sorry, Thomas Dolby is the blinded me with science guy.
And he also did the One of Our Submarines song. I like that one. That's a good one. I think that's him.
One of our submarines is really neat, but we won't tell you which, cause we want more feet.
And it's yellow. We live in a yellow submarine.
Yeah, submarine.
That devolved quickly.
Yeah. It's most things on the show do.
Goes down there.
Devolve. I like devolving. It makes me feel good. You hate that word, right,
I
Ada?
do hate that word because it's not a thing.
You hate the word
You
devolving.
can't evolve backwards. You don't have genetic memory of being a monkey.
You can figuratively devolve, but you can't fit as.
Well, what am I talking? Of course, we're all devolving.
Yeah, that's true.
Just look at what happened at the fucking Capitol.
Just look outside. Just look at the person walking down the street right there. That's right. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, you're devolving. Oh, they're
Suddenly
running.
just like chimpifies.
You are an ape now.
Taylor, that's a mirror.
No. Oh my God, you're right, Mira. I have become a mountain gorilla once more.
Yetification.
Yetification. I like that. That's like spaghettification. Like when you're sucked into a black hole. Except
I was thinking more like DeviantArt fetishes.
Oh no!
What am I not?
You're going into the dark world of the internet again.
Yeah.
Oh, never to return. Oh, speaking of dark worlds, I've entered my own dark world. I've started getting more. Remember our last time I talked about VR? Guess what? You're hearing about it again. I'm playing Beat Saber. It's really fun.
Taylor's been beating his saber.
I've been beating my saber
Is that
a
what
lot.
you're doing in there?
And
That's
Ada's
what you
been
call
making
it
that
then?
joke a lot. Like a lot. Like a whole lot.
You beating your saber in there, son?
Still funny.
I asked him. Oh, Lissa, by the way, who's been playing Cyberpunk, and she got to a very, very, very sexual scene. And of
Oh,
course,
my.
we did ample. Are you winning, son? Through all of that. It was an impromptu sex scene from a character that I completely ignored, and I guess if you responded to her, you could go meet her. And yeah.
And she'll show you those teatsticles.
What was I gonna say?
We're talking about Beat Saber.
I asked Taylor if Beat Saber was I asked Taylor. Sorry, I had a stroke there for a moment.
I can tell.
I asked Taylor if Beat Saber was his new fall down time. Because remember he used to do that P90X or whatever, and he'd do that in the back mud room, and we were just medically concerned for him because it sounded like he was just falling down. I just pictured him standing up and then full just planking, falling directly onto the floor as hard as he possibly could, repeatedly for 30 minutes.
It made you do a lot of things.
Yep.
It made you do a lot, and I got real sweaty.
Does the P in P90X stand for piss?
No,
It should.
It stands for palooka.
Palooka?
Because you're a palooka for buying all them videos.
I didn't buy any of them. I think I borrowed them from a friend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I hope I gave them back.
I believe you did.
Okay.
I still have the entirety of Witch Hunter Robin on DVD because I never gave it back to the original person who lent it to me.
Witch Hunter Robin.
I still have your Bloodborne disc because I never gave it back.
Oh, that's right.
It's mine now.
I forgot I had Bloodborne, so keep it.
You don't.
I would never have remembered.
Yeah.
You also still have my Far Cry Primal, but that's like, I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah. I don't intend to play it.
I occasionally think, oh, I should have that back and play it. Then I'm like, I got Red Dead, and failing that, I got Skyrim.
You always have Skyrim. Taylor, tell us about Beat Saber. I want to learn about it.
The Beat Saber is really neat saber. It's pretty great. I've never, you know me. I'm classic fat ass loser boy. Getting me to work out, it's really hard. I fucking hate exercise.
It's awful. It's objectively terrible.
I hate it. And but Beat Saber gets me out of breath and sweating and shit, and I barely notice an hour of that has passed until I take off the goggles and I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck happened to the time? It's great. I highly recommend it. It's super fabulous, and it's a lot of fun to just do. It makes you feel like, when you're doing it in a room with no one watching, it makes you feel like a fucking Jedi badass, and it's great. If you're doing it with a room with people, hopefully you have mirrored sound on, or you're gonna look really silly. Hopefully you have a TV up where people can see you cutting at things with your lightsabers. But for I guess for anybody who doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about, it's a VR game where blocks come at you and the blocks have arrows on them, and those denote which direction and which hand you should use to slash at things with your lightsabers. And you do it with the VR controllers, so it like tracks your movements and shit. And it works really well, way better than I thought it would. Like, it really, really impresses me. If you ever get into VR, it is a must-have title. I absolutely recommend it, especially now that they have the level editors where people can make custom meme songs, and they got the Megalovanias and the Persona 5s.
Can you beat Saber to We Are Number One?
And the We Are Number Ones, and I'm in the roundabouts. Like, you look up any song, it'll be on Beat Saber. I can pretty much guarantee it. And I will also say that, like, in the beginning, some people are more coordinated than others. In the beginning, I thought the game was, like, interesting, but pretty easy. Oh, boy, that game ramps up real fast. Yeah. So you better get fucking ready. Luckily, a lot of the content as to why you can enjoy the game isn't gated off, especially now with custom content that you can download.
At least they gave you that option. That is cool.
Yeah. I mean, like, it doesn't... I guess I was approaching this game kind of like DDR, where like there are just some things that I just will not be able to do ever, and I'm okay with that. And a huge portion of the game isn't gated off because of that, one way or the other.
So even if you suck, you can still play.
Yeah, if you suck, you can still play. Okay. For the most part.
Is it all blocks, or are there like enemies or anything?
The blocks are the enemies, but like also there's walls. Like walls of light that come at you and sort of make you have to like shift your footing to like one side or another to avoid being hit by them. And you also have to like duck under like big ceilings of light that come at you. And then there's also like these little landmines that come at you that you can't touch with your sword, or it counts as a miss.
Oh shit.
And lowers your score / counts towards your miss counter, which could fail you out of the level. So like some people I've seen custom songs where they make whole sections of the song like horrifying minefields that come towards you, and you have to move your sword in a very specific sort of like spiral pattern to avoid. God. Yeah, it looks really cool and it feels really neat to pull off, and it's cool, man.
Now, if you do poorly in a level, does Sebastian come out and
they go bad? Sebastian doesn't come out. I need to make a mod for that or something. Yeah. But
you just play Under the Sea.
In the songs that I've been playing, I've only been doing the campaign. I haven't really gotten too deep into the custom content or anything like that. But in campaign mode, there are lots of ways that you can fail out. So, yeah, I guess some things could be gated off. But, like, I don't know. This game has a very nice, consistent feeling of getting better at it.
Okay.
Oh, also I should note that the reason why you start sweating and all that shit, because you're like, oh, well, if they're just lightsabers, I could just point my hands at the blocks and not really move around a whole lot. Wrong, fucker. The game measures like your hand movements and gives you more points the like wider your swiping arcs are.
So you can't just Wii it.
Yeah, you can't just waggle like a Nintendo Wii. This shit is for serious grown-up adults, and no waggle here. It's quite precise and it works. It works incredibly. I was very shocked how good it works. So yes, Beat Saber, do it. If you have a VR set, do it. It's great. You'll have a great time, and you'll be out of breath, and you'll never feel better for being out of breath. It sure beats fucking running outside, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, God, running. It's just the worst.
Especially this time of year where the cold air burns your lungs.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, good, I hate everything neat. Yeah.
I can only do treadmill running because actually I used to in my youth I used to I had an exercise program back when
Just thought of a fucking... You hire a personal... If I became a personal trainer, my business name would be Trey DeMille.
God, that's dumb. You're fired.
You're fired, Trey.
Tell me you wouldn't see that and be like, I'm hiring this guy. And then I fucking show up and I'm this fat asshole.
No, I was going to say what I used to do, we had a fairly large, well, not even large, just about the size of, this room that we're in now, but it was, my basement was relatively empty, so I would watch like an hour or two of TV, and I would just like the whole commercial from like when the commercial break started to when it ended, I would just like run back and forth in the basement, and that was my cardio, and it worked pretty good, and I should start doing it again, or something similar because my cardio stamina is shit, and I know that. But I hate running outside because it's like you're either too hot or too cold. It's like, can't go for a run. It's cold as shit and my lungs will burn. Can't go for a run. It's hot as shit. And who the hell wants to be outside when it's hot? Because being hot is objectively the worst feeling in the human body.
I miss it. I always miss the opposite season of what I'm in.
Yeah.
I wish that the world worked the way Stardew Valley does, where each season is only a month long.
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Like, I love the cold for a couple weeks, and I get real sick of it.
Yeah.
And I love the heat for a couple weeks, and I get real sick of it.
I never loved the heat, although I might now that I have a car that has air conditioning.
Yeah.
So maybe I will hate summer less.
Yeah.
My least favorite thing about working out is the sweaty clothes. How they become like sticky.
Yeah.
And like you're taking them off to take a shower, and it's just like... And you're like, oh, God.
I remember that, like, when I used to wear boxers and got real sweaty, that wasn't too much of an issue. But, like, when I socially transitioned and, like, started wearing panties and stuff, and I would, like, run in the summer and get really sweaty, and I just had to, like, peel them off.
Oh, God.
Like, it's now another layer of skin I have to delicately remove.
That's what you get.
Well, why can't I just rip them off of me? I emit a raucous yell.
That's why I wear cheap mesh gym shorts
As
you rip
underwear.
off?
underwear. Yes, I have enough pairs of them, but I wear them instead of other underwear because they're great that way. Because that's a garment that was meant to sweat in, so it's fine when you do, and it's not horrible.
Mesh underwear.
So,
Well, basketball shorts.
I know.
Not like
Fishnet underwear. It's not very
Not a fishnet.
not very useful.
Not a fishnet Borat banana hammock here.
you are all now imagining B-Rye running on Trey DeMills with his Borat bikini.
I like to think for some people it wouldn't be a terrible image.
I already was imagining that. It's an intrusive thought that lives in my mind, unfortunately.
It just plays on loop.
Yeah.
Like a treadmill.
Yeah. Like Trey DeMille.
Like Trey DeMille.
Oh, here's a bright spot for you. It's a mean bright spot because somebody died, but it was Sheldon Adelson, who is an old billionaire ghoul who donated lots of money to the Republican Party and advanced the causes of awful people. And he died at 87 today.
Did he take all of his money with him?
No, he probably didn't. But he's the anti-Soros, as a billionaire who funded evil.
His anti-Sora.
Anti-Sora.
There's anti-Sora. Look out! Riku made an anti-Soros.
It's funny because Soros is nobody could be Roxas.
Oh my god.
Be Roxas and not Roxas.
Soros. I like it. Sign me up for Roxas, arch enemy of Trey DeMille.
This is a weird episode.
Everybody,
Yeah.
I'm glad you like.
We're in weird times.
We're in unsufferably weird times, and I wish you the best, especially next week. Fucking stock up on canned foods, everybody.
And ammo.
Yeah, and stack up on confounding materials that you can befuddle your enemies with to get away in a harsh circumstance. Like a large can of Pringles with a spring-loaded dildo inside.
And if any of them get near you, spray them with ink.
That too, yes. Make sure your ink sacks are full, ladies and gentlemen. Shit's gonna get real. Everybody, just be careful out there. Stay safe. I love you. Also, I hate you. So, Ada, take us out.
Da 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 da.
No, I mean take us out with these.
Oh, okay.
Now even you know I am a menace. I hand you the secrets to save the entire human race and the entire universe.